Sushma H, is it visible? Slides?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Fine. Right. So we'll be starting in a moment. Nagaraj MS, are you there? Nagaraj
Yes,
MS?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What is your result? Result has been announced, right?
Yes, sir.
What is your result? Sixth semester, fifth semester result announce ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ?
Yes, sir. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್.
Percentage?
730 ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಟೋಟಲ್ 900.
Right. Yeah. Let me start. So good morning. So in the previous video, we were dealing with the process state and the state transitions. So basically, we have a process to be staying in a variety of states, right? Any process can be in say running state or blocked state or ready state or terminated state. So in the previous video, this slide was like discussed in detail. So regarding the running state, the CPU is currently executing a particular process. Hence, the process is said to be in the running state. Why? Because the process is now being executed by CPU. So regarding the blocked state, like you should remember that any process in the blocked state means the process is waiting for a resource, and that particular resource is not available right now. Hence, the process will be in the blocked state. Or else, if any process is say waiting for an event to occur, and that particular event has not yet occurred, like in that case, any process can be in the blocked state. So, due to the lack of resources and due to the non-occurrence of any event, so for which the process is waiting, okay. So, based upon the unavailability of the resource and due to the event, so what the process is waiting, that event is not yet occurred. So for these reasons, any process will be in the blocked state. And regarding the ready state, so this ready state means the process has requested for some resource. So but if another process comes and that process is of higher priority, right? Hence, the higher priority process will be executed and the currently running process will come into the ready state. Okay, so due to the preemption operation. So what is preemption? Right? Any process can be preempted. So the meaning of the word preempted means the higher priority process, right, will be given the first chance. Okay, hence the resources that are being allocated for the low priority process will be forcefully removed, and the resources will be allocated to the higher priority process. Hence, the low priority process will be coming into the ready state upon the preemption. So this preemption is nothing but temporary execution of the present process is halted. Okay, so by some high priority process. So then the process will enter into the ready state. And regarding the terminated state, so what do we have in terminated state? As name itself indicate, termination. Okay, terminated means upon the successful execution of a process, the process will be going into the terminated state. And according to the previous discussion, any process will be going for termination state based upon 4 reasons. Okay, So one reason, like we have discussed in the last class itself, so based upon what we have discussed, yeah, so based upon the self-termination and based upon the termination by a parent process and exceeding the resource utilization and abnormal conditions during operations. So these underlined are the 4 conditions upon which any process can be going for the termination stage. Okay. Yeah, so now coming for the actual content of this particular class. Okay, so this particular class is dealing with the causes of fundamental state transition for a process. Okay, so you can expect the state transitions of a process from one state to the another state. Okay, so this slide can be better understood if you have gone through like the meaning of running and the meaning of so blocked state of a process and ready state and terminated state. Okay, so same thing is been given here. The main change is any process can be going from one state to the another state. Okay, and like same information is been given like in terms of a table where we have the state transitions, and here is the explanation. So based upon this, we can expect any process to be going from say ready to running, or blocked state to the ready state, or running state to ready state, or running state to blocked state, or running state to terminated state. So now let us discuss so these state transitions for a process one by one. So starting with the state called as ready state to running state. So any process can be going from a ready state to the running state. So once the high priority process has done the execution and CPU is allotted to a low priority process, so then this low priority process has to be going from ready state to the running state. Suppose if any process is in the ready state, and if it is getting all the resources what it needs, and like in this case, any process can be going from the ready state to running state. So next state is blocked state to ready state. So what do you mean by the word blocked state of a process? I told that once you hear the name blocked means you should think of the lack of resources. Means any process has requested for some resource, and that resource is not yet available with the operating system. Hence, the process will be in the blocked state. So due to the lack of resources and due to the occurrence of event, so what the process is waiting for, that event has not yet occurred. So based upon these 2 conditions, any process will be in the blocked state. So now we have a transition from blocked state to ready state. This means that a request made by the process is granted, or the event for which the process was waiting has occurred. Okay, so under these 2 conditions, any process can be switching from blocked state to ready state. Okay, so if the process is in the ready state, means the resources what it needs are available with the process, and now the process is ready for execution. Okay, so hence we have this block state to ready state transition. So next, moving on to the running state to the ready state. So what do you mean by the word running? Means the CPU is currently executing, say, process P1, means process P1 is in the running state. And under what all conditions the running process, so-called P1, will be shifting from running state to ready state. Okay, so it's running state to ready state. So say for example, this CPU is given to a process. So for example, the CPU is say executing the process P1. So this state is called as running state, like as I told. So now this process is preempted, means I will forcefully release the resources of the running process. Why? Because any other process of high priority has now come into existence. Okay, so because of this, the low priority process which was currently running is being moved to the ready state. Okay, so once the occurrence of higher priority process is occurring, hence the CPU, which was busy in executing another process, is halted or preempted, and the resource will be allocated to the higher priority process. Hence, the currently running process will be moved from the running state to the ready state. Okay. And next state is so this running state to the blocked state. Okay. What this means is that the process in operation makes a system call to indicate that it wishes to wait until some resource request made by it is granted. So this means that, say the process in operation, say for example, process P1 is running. If it requests, say for some resources, and if these resources are not being available like in the operating system, so then what OS will do is P1 will be moved from running state to the block state. So until the resources are allocated to process P1, the state of P1 will be changed from the running state to the blocked state. So once P1 is blocked, so then OS will take another process and will keep on executing the other process. Okay, so the process in operation will make a system call to indicate that it wishes to wait until some resource request made by it is granted. Okay, so here we have the 5 major causes of say any process being in the blocking state. Okay, any process can be in the blocked state, right, due to these 5 reasons. So for example, the process is requesting for an IO operation, and we know that if any process is busy in IO operation means I cannot keep the CPU idle, right? In that case, what CPU will does is CPU will execute some other process, okay, so as to keep itself busy. And second reason for any process to be in the blocked state is any process is requesting for a resource, okay, and that particular resource, if it is available, so then the OS will allocate the resource for the process and the process can continue its execution. So, but if the resource is not made available to the process, okay, like in that case, any process can be going into the blocked state. And third reason is a process wishes to wait for a specified interval of time. Okay, suppose if the process is willing to wait for some amount of time, like in that case, the process will be moved to the blocked state. And fourth reason is the process wishes for a message from another process. Like in case of, say, if 2 processes are dependent on each other, I mean to say the result of one process is to be, say, fed to the another process. Okay, that means if 2 processes are dependent on each other, like in that case, you can expect that a process may wait for a message from the another process. And in this case also, the process can be moved to the blocking state. And last reason is so the process waits for some action by another process. Okay, so like in these 2 cases also, any process can be moved to the blocking state. So now what we had dealt right now is the process state and the state transition. And here is the table for the process state, where any process can be in running state, blocked state, ready state, and terminated state. And regarding the word state transitions, okay, like here are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 state transitions, say from ready to running and blocked to ready, running to ready, and running to blocked, and running to terminated. Till now, like we have seen like these 4 state transitions. So now the last state transition is from the running state to the terminated state. Okay, yeah. So once the execution of the process is completed, so then we know that the process state will be going from running state to the terminated state. So we have basically here 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like here we have so 4 basic reasons for any process to be going into the terminated state. Okay, so the first reason is self-termination. Second reason is termination by parent process. Like I think we have discussed the word parent process and the child process. Okay, so like if the parent process is terminated, okay, like in that case also the process can be going into the terminated state. And third reason is exceeding the resource utilization, and fourth reason is abnormal conditions during the operation. So let us discuss the first reason of any process. So based upon which the process can be moving from the running state to the terminated state. So what is information regarding this self-termination is that the process in operation either is able to complete its operation or task, or it will realize that like it cannot operate meaningfully, and what the process will do is it will make a system call, so by name terminate me. Okay, so this terminate me, right, is basically a system call, okay, using which the process in operation can request the OS to terminate itself. Okay, so the process in operation either will be able to complete its full execution or task or its function, or it may realize that like it cannot operate meaningfully, right? Like in that case, the process will make a system call, so by name terminate me. Okay, say for example, like if the process is having incorrect data, or if the process is having insufficient data or inability to access the information or the data like in a desired manner. So under these conditions, you can expect the process to be going into the self-termination state. Okay, but again, the meaning of system call has been rightly given here. Suppose if you can notice. So what is system call is? System calls are nothing but the programmatic way in which a computer program requests a service from the kernel of the operating system. Okay, so like these system calls are nothing but the way in which any program, any process is able to request a service offered by the kernel or by the operating system. Okay, so for example, simple example, what I can give for system calls is, say like if you want to have the transfer of information from one file to another file. So to have the transfer of say data from one file to another file, you'll be having so many steps. Okay, so for each and every step of transferring information from one file to another file, so for each and every step, like I'll be having a system call to be called. Okay, so basically these system calls are nothing but a way in which a process or a computer can request for the services offered by the kernel or by the operating system. Yeah, so now going to the second reason for any process to be going from the running state to terminated state is termination by a parent. Okay, so a parent is making a terminate PI system call, okay, so as to terminate a child process PI. Okay, so here like when it so like when the process finds that execution of child process is no longer necessary, or the meaningful execution of the parent process is not possible, or meaningful, like that is a parent process has terminated itself and it sees that running of child process is like unnecessary or not necessary or meaningful. So the parent process can terminate the child process. Okay, so like this is the second reason. And third reason is exceeding resource utilization. So what this means is, so for example, an OS may limit the resources that a process may consume, right? So a process exceeding a resource limit that would be stopped or aborted by the kernel, right? So because of OS needs to handle multiple number of processes with limited amount of resources. So the OS needs to give a fair service to all the programs, all the process, or all the users. Example, say if a process requests 10 MB of memory, so but the OS has got a limited amount of memory, say 5 MB of memory. Like in such cases, here like it is showing that we are going for exceeding the resource, the so-called memory. Okay, hence the program will be going for the termination stage by because we are exceeding the resource utilization. And the fourth reason, so why any process can go into terminated state is abnormal conditions during the operation. So this means that the kernel that will abort or stop a process if an abnormal condition arises due to the instruction being executed. So for example, like if I want to execute an invalid instruction or some execution of privileged instructions, and if I go for execution of arithmetic overflow or select divide by zero, okay, why? Because anything divided by zero is like infinity, right? And we don't have any instruction which will execute this divide by zero, right, operation. Okay, so for such reasons, any process can be moving into the terminated state. Okay, so basically these are the different different state transitions, say from one state to another state, and here are the like so-called explanation or description. Okay, why do we have the like the state of process being changed from one state to the another state. Okay, so next after this, like we have the same information here, same information shown in terms of the process state transition diagram. So where we have again the four state. The first state will be the ready state, second one is running state, and third one is terminated state, and the last one is the blocked state. I think we know the meaning of any process like being in ready state, any process being in running state, and any process like being in terminated state, and any process being in the blocked state. So what is information regarding this fundamental state transition of the process is like any new process what we have, okay, like say like whenever a new process is coming into picture, right, any new process will be always staying in the ready state until and unless the requirements of the process is being met. That means what? So whatever the process needs for execution, okay, suppose if the process is supplied with all the necessary ingredients so as to go for execution, until that any new process will be staying in the ready state. Okay, so once the CPU is allocated to that particular process, it can start its execution. Okay, so once execution of process starts, so then OS will come to know what that particular process needs, what all resources that a particular process is in need of. Okay, right. So always a new process will be entering into the ready state. Okay, so once the process is ready state, and if that process turn comes means OS will be able to create environment so as to run the particular process, right? So the process that is newly created is called as dispatching. Okay, so once the process is being given an environment so that it can be executed, okay, so that process of creating an environment so as to execute the particular process in the ready queue, right, it is called as dispatching. Hence a process in the ready state, okay, upon dispatching can move into the running state. Okay, so once the process is in the ready state to running state, okay, so now my process can request some resources, and based upon the availability, the OS can offer the resources to the running process. And if all the resources are being made available, right, and the process can easily complete its execution, and upon successful completion of execution of process, the process will be switching its state from running state to the terminated state. Means upon successful execution of the process, any process can move from the running state to the so-called what is that? Terminated state. Okay, termination state. Okay, suppose if the process is in the running state, and like in the due course of execution, suppose if the process is requesting for a resource. Okay, suppose if any process is in the running state, and if the running process is requesting for a resource, right, and if the resource is not yet available with the operating system, in that case, the process will be moved from running to the blocked state. Okay, right. So again, the process can be moved from blocked state to the ready state. So once the resource for which the process was waiting is being granted, right? Or if say like the event for which the process was waiting. And if the event occurs, means that particular process will be moved from blocked state to the ready state. Okay. So what is the bottom line here is any new process will be always staying in the ready state. Why? Because like it has all the resources what it needs. So, but the current process is not being given the CPU for execution. Hence, the process will be staying in the ready state. So once the process in the ready state is being dispatched, right? Again, the word dispatching means what? The necessary environment for the execution of the process in the ready state is created by the operating system. Okay, and that is being done by the dispatcher. Okay, so the dispatcher will be able to do the dispatching, means creating the environment so that the process in the ready state can be executed. Hence, any process, right, upon dispatching will be moved from ready state to the running state. Okay, suppose if the required resources are available for the process in the ready state. Okay, so if all the resources are made available, right, like at the right time, so then the process can successfully complete its function or task or execution. Hence, the process is now moved from running state to the terminated state. Okay, suppose if we assume that a running process is in need of some resource, or if the running process is waiting for an event to occur, like in that case, the running process will be moved from running state to the blocked state. Okay, and upon the allotting of resources, right, or if the event has occurred, right, like in that case, the process can be moved from blocked state to the ready state. Okay, so you can easily understand this like by seeing the arrow marks and their direction and the comment as well, right? So for example, what do you mean by this preemption? Okay, suppose if we have the select, so now the process, so P1 is currently running on the CPU. Let's assume, suppose if another process, say P2 of higher priority is occurred. Okay, like in that case, what OS will do is OS will go for the preemption process, means the low priority process P1 will be preempted, right? So now the process P1 will be moved from running state to the ready state, and the OS will now execute the higher priority P2 process. Okay, so this forceful removal of the resource from a low priority process and allocating the same resource to the high priority process is called as preemption. Okay, hence the state of low priority process P1 will be moved from running state to the ready state. Okay, and say like any process can be moving from running state to blocked state. Okay, why? Because the running process is requesting for a resource, right, and that particular resource is not yet made available. Hence, the process will be able to move from running state to the blocked state. And upon the allocation of the resources, what the process has requested, suppose if the request is been granted, means same process can be moved from blocked state to the ready state. Okay, so you can easily explain the things. So by looking at the arrow mark and the direction and along with the comments, okay, so based upon which you can expect the state transitions, okay, change in the state of process from select either ready to running, or from running to terminated, or from running to the blocked state, or from blocked state to the ready state. Okay, is it clear? Hello, audience, are you there? Abhishek KV.
Yes, sir.
So here, according to the slide, so what I'm showing here, so what are the four main reasons for which any process can be going into termination stage? Look at the slide and tell me the answer. The slide is on the screen. Four reasons for which any process can be going into termination stage. Look at the slide. Or if anybody there? So these underlined words are nothing but the four conditions based upon which any process can be going into the termination stage. Means self-termination. So what is self-termination? Self-termination, what does it mean? Hello? Anybody? Excuse me. So here are the 4 underlined words, so based upon which any process can be moved into termination stage. First reason is self-termination. Second reason is termination by a parent. And third one is exceeding the resource utilization. And fourth reason is abnormal conditions during operation. Means if I go for executing a divide by zero operation, or if I have arithmetic overflow, or if I do any memory protection violation. So for these reasons, I can expect the process to be moved to the termination stage. Same thing, like so what all transactions, so what we have in the process, like process states from say like ready to running, or block to ready, or ready to like running to ready and running to block. The same is been represented in terms of a diagram here, where you can expect the process to be moving from, or select switching from one state to the another state. So what do you mean by the word blocked state? Any process can be blocked based upon what all reasons? Anybody there? Arpita AG. Arpita AG,
Yes,
are you
sir.
there?
Yes, sir.
So what do you mean by the word blocked state of a process? Any process can be blocked based upon unavailability of the resources. Second reason is if the process is waiting for an event to occur. Is it right? Hello? Hardly I can hear yes sir, that's nothing more than that. You need to write the exam for the subject. Are you aware of it? Audience, participants, 39 numbers of participants are there. Are you hearing me? Rakesh TM, are you there? See, students, you need to attend the examination for this core subject. Simply by logging in and not being in the place at the right time is of no use. You need to have the interaction. Hello? You need to have the interaction. You need to be online. You need to be hearing the slides, seeing the slides, hearing the lecture videos. Simply by logging in will not fetch you anything. Hello? Fine. So, like still 5 minutes are remaining here. You can just simply analyze the diagram. So what we have discussed in this particular class is regarding the process state and state transitions. And according to syllabus and an examination point of view, like regarding the process state and state transitions, so you can write down all the 4 process states and the state transitions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 state transitions are there, starting from ready to running to terminated. And don't forget to mention this particular also, like this particular diagram also. And like this table is nothing but the execution of say 2 process, the P1 and P2 process, and how these P1 and P2 process are effectively being handled by the operating system so as to achieve the successful execution of both the process. So like this state transition table, so what you can see here is showing that how the operating system can effectively execute so both the process P1 and P2. Okay, so for this, like you need to understand the meaning of the ready state, running state, terminated, and block state, and based upon what all reasons I can expect the state transitions to be happening. Okay, so once you understand that, you will easily understand this particular table. Okay, so like this table, I will deal with this in the next class. like as the current time is not sufficient, hence I'm just logging out. You can, so we can just prepare for the slides. Okay, so we can analyze the slide and analyze the things. Okay, so you can log out now, and we'll meet you in next class.